Thailand's Buriram province will become the first in the country to relax lockdown restrictions on the 1st of May. Authorities say it's time to let people resume their daily activities, citing a great improvement in the COVID-19 pandemic. The province has been under lockdown for over a month. The Buriram governor has so far reported 13 cases and 1 fatality. Thailand's total tally is inching towards 3,000. Its death toll stands at 50. Our correspondent Saksit Sasambat joins us now. Saksit, tell us more about Buriram's easing of this lockdown. Which of its restrictions will be loosened?
Yes, even though it will be a loosening of some of the restrictions, it won't be a complete lift of all those lockdowns that Buriram province has taken in place. They will allow certain shops, especially those that provide food, that serve food, to open up again, of course, with safe distancing in mind. And also there will be other measures. For example, every ID card that a Thai national is carrying around in Buriram province will be given a sticker that says Buriram healthy. However, if somebody leaves that province, the sticker will be removed. And if a person comes back into Buriram province, that person has to go into quarantine for 2 weeks. Now, this is Buriram province has been one of the first provinces in Thailand to impose a lockdown, even a week before the central government in Bangkok has declared a state of emergency, and it seems to be also now the first to lift some of these restrictions. Now, what has to be kept in mind, though, Buriram province is the home base of the Boonchai Thai party, which is the second largest coalition partner in the Thai government, and also the party of Public Health Minister Anutin Janvirakul. So there seems to be some political motivations behind it, and especially now that that Anutin and other deputy prime ministers and other ministers of other political parties have been a little bit sidelined since the state of emergency, since the permanent secretaries of all the relevant ministries have been roped into the government's response. But nevertheless, Buriram province has been a province where numbers of COVID-19 patients have been pretty low. So it seems to be that this is going to be the first to impose a lockdown and also the first to lift some of these restrictions.
On Saksit, this state of emergency in Thailand was imposed late March. If we look at Thailand itself, what's happening in Buriram, is that a sign that the government in Bangkok might be thinking of easing restrictions for the whole country?
Well, even though the numbers of daily new COVID-19 cases is steadily declining, there doesn't seem to be any indication yet that the liftings or any restrictions will be lifted anytime soon. However, the current state of emergency that has been called out in late March is running out at the end of April, next week actually. But it can be extended by a decision by the cabinet. Thai Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, we thought he might be saying something in that direction this week, but he has deferred the decision to next week. So at the latest, we will know by the cabinet meeting on Tuesday whether or not the state of emergency and all the restrictions that are in place, for example, the nightly curfew, the ban on alcohol sales, and other movement restrictions. Now, we don't know yet whether or not they're going to be lifted or not, but any indication right now seems to be they won't be lifted anytime soon.
Oh, it sucks with a final question. Another sign of easing measures, 2 Thai airlines likely becoming the first to resume domestic flights in Thailand. Tell us more about that.
Yes, indeed. The Thai counterparts of Lion Air and Air Asia say that they are ready to take up domestic flights again if these restrictions will be slowly lifted. But that, of course, depends on many different factors. So that's according to the Civil Aviation Authority in Thailand. They say that these 2 airlines, Air Asia and Lion Air, they are ready to take up flights again. However, that depends on the restrictions in each of the different provinces. Some do not allow any outsiders to come in. Some do, but have to go into quarantine. Also, airlines have to only sell 70% of the seats. So again, with safe distancing in mind, any flights that go longer and over 90 minutes, they have to clear the last 2 rows in case if anybody falls sick. Also, they will not be allowed to sell food and drinks on the during the flights because people are required to keep their masks on at any time, and obviously you can't if you want to drink and eat. So there are signs that things might be going back to normal. At least there are plans when things are getting back to normal, but we do not have a timeline yet.
Thanks very much, Uni, for that. Success, our correspondent Success Sambat with all those COVID-19 related updates from Thailand.